Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hidden Existence. I know it's been a while, and I'm so glad you're all here tonight. I really wanted to, well, you know what this show is about. It's about Kerry. It's a year since he passed, and really wanted to remember him today, think about him, and share some memories people have sent me about him. And joining me, we're going to have a few people joining me tonight, but at the moment, we have Jackie, Iron Dogger. How are you doing?
Hello,
Long
doing
time no
good.
see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while. It's been a while for all of us. And of
hmm
course, Pam, PJ Arkansas. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You're very welcome because you actually did a beautiful tribute to Kerry today. A little video. We'll play that in a bit for everyone. I thought it was beautiful.
Thank you.
I just realised all through this last 12 months, which has been really the wildest, weirdest, most heartbreaking and toughest 12 months, I think, for a lot of us. And now I feel like it's a bit of calm now. We've come a year, and it's still quite raw for people. He was such a big personality. He touched so many people. Um, I'm always reading comments in the group. People are always mentioning him every time I hook up with someone and chat. Um, they're always mentioning Kerry, and he's too big a personality, too big a guy, too big a heart to not be talked about, and remembered. And, it's such a big part of so many people's lives, whether they knew him personally or not. Um, he meant a lot to people, and I want to, think about him tonight. Not that I don't think about him often enough, but I want to remember it this day. When we lost him, and yeah, I think that's what it's about. What do you
Yeah,
think, guys?
I think it's a beautiful thing to do. To
Mhm.
tribute, so give a beautiful tribute to someone who made the community what it is, really. And all the videos him and Linda did told a story and a narrative that was unique, and it's something that we should all cherish.
Mhm.
Definitely. Hello to everyone in the chat. It's great to see. Some of you have not seen for a while, because obviously I've not been for a while, but Lindsay Bay, I'm really glad to see you because uh, I've not heard from you in quite a while. So I'm glad you're here tonight. Mary Albright, good to see you. Francesca, Tammy, Steve, former everything. You just said something before, and you're right. Where's it at? Did I just scroll past it? But you did say something like, Wednesdays do suck now. there's no there's no researchers report, there's no BIGFOOT ODYSSEY. Um, it's a big change for me as well because I did that for so long, 3 nights a week, and I miss it too. And the community and everything, that kind of buzz that we had every time we went live. Of course, Kerry and we are live. Miss him saying that. But yeah, I've noticed there is a big, divisions now. Seem to be a big breakup in the community. Um, just I don't know. I feel like that kind of bond has gone. Uh, but that's what happens when something like this happens. Something breaks, and it's hard to recover back from it. But I hope the Bigfoot community we all do kind of come together again. It's kind of feels like it's going off the rails at the moment in one form or another. I guess that's people just the way they deal with it, and maybe it's a testament to how Kerry was, quite a good guide for everybody, and yeah, he's missed by a lot of people. So I've got some videos. Some people have, I asked in the week last week for people to contribute some messages, some audio messages, video messages if they wanted to. So I've put some of them together, and we'll play them soon. I'm going to have Linda coming on at some point whenever she is ready. And hopefully Brent from Paranormal Portal will be popping on as well. But in the meantime, shall I play one of these videos?
Oh, yeah,
I've
definitely.
done. Great. It took me a long time to get these done. But these are some nice messages. And let me hopefully not this
Yeah.
I've not tested this out actually. Okay.
He brought a lot of
They're very
people
rusty.
in, and he brought a lot of people into podcasting too, you know.
He did. Lots of people are doing it now, and it's great. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Getting people talking, sharing their encounters, finding different places to discuss things. And, you know, we need to keep that conversation going and keep that awareness going, that those places for people to share. I know, Pam, you've started a channel. You've had your own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you finding that? Are you enjoying it? Are you connecting with people who are experiencing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to several people, that have encountered, Sasquatch. But, this is something I'm not tech savvy at all. So it's a whole new ball game for me to try to put something together. But, I felt like it was something that I kind of needed to do, you know. And, I hope I can eventually get better at it. But,
It's just practice.
yeah.
That's all. You just need to keep doing it. Jackie's a professional at putting videos together. I've seen your videos.
Seen my videos
She can,
with my pink cape. Awesome.
yeah,
Beat again.
I mean,
High powered.
exactly.
That's the key. I'm telling you. There's lots of sightings in that video too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good videos. I've seen some old names, but people haven't seen them for a while, and it's great. Judy Wheeler, not seen you for a while. Oh, and Jack Melton, thank you for your email. Sorry I didn't get back to you, but I will. I've just had so much going on at the moment, but I'm going to be catching up with people. Steve Wolf, good to see you. Not seen you for a long time either. And Sharon, hi Sharon. All right, let's play a video, and hopefully this should work. Doing my best. Yeah,
You're awesome.
here we go. Okay, go guys. Is it playing?
I don't see any.
Oh,
I hear the music.
yeah, it's not playing. Wonder why.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, can you see it now?
Yeah, it just flashed on. There it
I'll
is.
just start again. Okay, maybe it just needs a bit of buffering. Sorry about this, guys. Let's go. Is that showing?
Yes.
No.
No, it's not.
No. Right, I'm going to try something. This is a bit disappointing. Let me think. I'm really rusty. I'm going to log in from a laptop.
Music.
Yeah, let me log in from a laptop and see if I can share it from there. I think it's a something to do so with my computer, because it has been literally giving up the ghost, really. It's on its last legs. Let's see if I can do something like this. I don't know.
Sorry, Nemo's trying to make her big debut over here.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay, let me try this. Guys, you might have to just talk amongst yourselves a second.
Okay.
Is that okay? While I try and sort this out. Give me 1 minute.
Daniela. So, Pam, when you think of Kerry and what all the different aspects and things that he brought to the community, what are some of the things that really make you smile and just have those fond memories? Because he was just such an incredible person with the community and with the topic in general.
Mm-hmm. When I think of him, I just think of his big heart. You know, and he had this his personality. It was like I told someone, you know, in a lifetime, if you are able to meet somebody that was like Kerry, then you better consider yourself lucky.
Absolutely.
Because he was a true, genuine man that had just a big heart. You know, he really wanted to help people. And I mean, you know,
Yeah,
when
he was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just, you know, when he was here, you know, just to be able to see how he was in person. You know, he was funny, and just completely, he felt like family. You know, and that's what, you know, that's just how he come across. I think to everybody that even just talked to him on the phone. You know, I've seen what people say in chat and how they felt about him, and people that never even met him felt like he was part of their family. You know, and that takes a true good person to have that much of an impact on people.
A pure soul.
Exactly.
Yeah. He was always available. That was so shocking to me. Like, as busy as he was, as big of a family man as he was, he somehow was able to really make you feel like he was listening to you 100%. You know he was, and he gave that time to everyone, and he was just incredible at that. And he just, like you said, he just made you feel like family. He was like your big brother, you know.
Exactly.
He brought a lot of people. He was able to bring a lot of people out of their shell as well. You know, he had this way of just asking the right questions, and you know, and could relate on such a level that just you just felt like he really got it. He really did.
Well, there's, you know, like I said, if in your lifetime, if you're able to meet one person like him, consider yourself lucky. Because, you know, he was like a magnet, you know. And even my son, who he interviewed out here, you know, my son had watched his channel some and everything, but we was talking, I don't know, probably a month ago, and he told me, he said, Mom, he said, I didn't even know him. He said, my heart still aches. And that's just the impact that he made on people, you know. And, you know, it's been tough, and I can't even begin to imagine poor Linda, you know,
Yeah.
and the family. You know, I know it's been rough on everybody, but it's particularly, you know, his family, you know, and his wife.
Yeah, because everybody knew he was a family man, and that's how it started. Him and Linda
Yeah. Him and
together.
Linda
They were
together.
out there, and you know, she really brought him, you know, you'd hear him talk
Mhm.
about his stories, and you could see the love. You
Mhm.
knew that they had each other's back
Yep.
100%, and you could also tell she really brought him out of his shell
Yeah.
and out of a really dark place, you
Yeah.
know, and helped make him the man he was. And
Yeah.
they were like the couple goals,
Yeah.
you know, kind of couple, you know. It's really amazing, and that's beautiful, you know.
Mhm.
That it's something I really really miss is their interviews with people,
Yeah.
because they would go there and it's like you're able to relive that experience right there, you know, where it
Yeah.
happened with people. And it's just really unique.
Yeah.
And he built the community up, you know. I like to think, you
Yeah.
know, from
But, you know, now there's just like a big hole.
yeah.
Nothing's the same. And, you know, it's tough. I know today I was watching um, some Bigfoot, you know, some of the shows on Bigfoot Odyssey, and I would get so tickled when he would make those noises, you know,
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was cracking up because he would imitate these sounds, you know, and oh, I was cracking up, you know, but
Yeah. He had a good sense of humor. He was just a really good, genuine soul,
yeah,
and a perfect leader.
yeah, exactly. Well, and I even said once, I left a comment, you know, after his accident that I felt like a sheep that has lost my shepherd. And that's what
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, because
Yeah.
that's how he felt. He felt like a shepherd for everybody to look up to, and he guarded his people, you know.
Yeah. I went through a real weird phase where it just didn't, I don't know, it just doesn't seem the same to do podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
And, you know, it's, yeah, it really, it strikes people differently. And he was such a huge personality, but not over, you know, he
yeah,
wasn't like extreme or anything, but he
extreme.
was just, there was some draw about him, you know,
Mhm.
that you were like, he had a way of talking, you know, even with his Shutter channel and
Yeah.
stuff. That was, it was funny because for a long time I listened to the Shutter channel before I found Bigfoot Odyssey. And
Mhm.
when I did find Bigfoot Odyssey, I was like, gosh, this guy sounds a lot like the guy on the Shutter channel. And someone in the comments was like, it is the same person. Oh, you know, he was just really good at telling stories,
Mhm.
really good
He
at
did.
getting to the heart of, you know, that story.
Mhm.
And yeah, he was just a really good guy. And he brought so many people into the podcasting as
Yeah.
well.
I always liked listening to his final thoughts, or
Yeah.
sometimes he would call them rantings. But his final thoughts, you know, it's the stuff that he wrote. He read several of them when he was out here. But I always liked listening to that, and he was a good writer. You know,
Yes.
very good writer.
And an amazing musician. I think
Mhm.
that was one of the things that surprised me the most,
Mhm.
was how talented he was
Mhm.
musically. I mean, the first time I heard him sing, it was like, wow, whoa. Like, eh, wow, okay.
Mhm.
It's very impressive. You know, he
Yeah.
was just so multi-talented and just there was nothing arrogant about him at all. And, even with his size and stature and everything, there's no arrogance that came across. I remember when he asked me to fill in for him on Sunday's show, I was stunned. Like the first time I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I thought, you're just pulling my leg, just trying to make me feel better kind of thing, And so it took me a while to actually believe that he was actually serious about it.
Well, I'm glad he did.
Yeah. Look at us, Daniela. We became quite a little duo.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Kerry just wore his heart on his sleeve. He was just really so transparent. He there was nothing, no hidden agendas. But he was always really, he couldn't keep a secret. Terrible at keeping secret. Don't bother asking him to. Just don't say anything yet. But Kerry, it's like, I'm downloading a couple of things onto my laptop, and then I'll be good to go. I'll switch over, and then we'll do it from there. I hoped I wouldn't have this problem. I thought I might have, but I did. But how you doing, John? Long time no see. Hope you're doing all right. So I'm going to disappear again. I'll be back in 2 ticks, hopefully. On another, well, not another cam, but I'll tell you in a minute. Won't be long.
All right, Daniela's on it. It'll get done right. Yeah, I don't know. There's been times where it just seems so unreal. Sorry, my cat is really feeling like she needs to be a part of this tonight for some reason. But I just really enjoyed all of the different aspects he brought to the table, because at first he was very hardline, like they are, flesh and blood. That's it. No questions. This. I don't even want to consider. And then he started opening up more and more as he started hearing more of these stories, and they just came to the point where it was hard to dismiss at a certain point. And so I love the way that he wasn't so open-minded you could just drive a truck right through, what I mean? But he was still, skeptical enough to kind of go, well, let me think about this, and the logistics and logical reasoning behind all of this stuff, because a lot of the times you can't find logic in this subject. You can't find the scientific patterns. You can't go out there, and as a researcher, usually a researcher has a theory, and they're out there testing these theories, and it's very difficult in this community to try and test things. You can go to places where people have had these experiences and never have another sighting, another peep, nothing, and so it's not a subject that is easy to research. That's for sure, but he made it to where people were intrigued and began their own little inquisitory little journeys, which kept building and building. And I really think he did a lot for the community. I really do.
Yeah, he really did. I know with me, I didn't realize how naive I was, because we had things kind of going on, before I ever started watching Bigfoot Odyssey, so we was kind of, thinking it was possible. But everything we was hearing back then was, they wouldn't hurt you. They'll leave you alone. And then, I had my sighting, and my perspective completely turned around about that. But, but after listening to him, I realized how naive I actually was, and that, they're not always the gentle creatures some people make them out to be. They, I mean, look at his encounter. You know,
Right.
yeah, I mean, he come out of it okay, but you know, that thing, you know, if you did make the wrong route, you know, the wrong move, you know, what could happen? You know,
Right.
and so I mean, I really, you know, learned a lot from him.
Yeah. His encounter was so gripping every time he would tell his encounter, you know, and that's a lot with a lot of people. The more they sit and think about things, different, you know, memories start coming back, different, you know, the smells and all the sounds and just
Mhm,
certain things just come and go. The way that our neurons work, you just, you know, they're
mhm,
unpredictable. But at the same time, there's certain things that just, you know, keep coming.
mhm,
And I loved the way that he told his story because you were right there with him.
mhm.
Like you could feel that fear. You could understand why, you know, he put his gun away and never walked into the woods again, you know, things like that. And, you know, there's a lot of people that have these encounters, but saw it
Mhm.
screaming and
Yeah.
yelling at him and very aggressive and
Mhm.
you know and it changed his life, and that's hard for a man to
Mhm.
admit. You know, he wasn't a, a I don't know, he was a man's man.
Yeah.
Every part of him was a man's man, and for you know, for men to just admit that I'm
Mhm.
not doing that again because he was actually you know,
Yeah.
it scared him. That really put a lot of like whoa
Yeah.
intensity into that experience, and you just really understand that.
What was so scary about his encounter is not only did he encounter this thing, he had to walk, I forget how many you know, 2 or 300 yards, 400 yards at least to get back to his truck or his four-wheeler and then get to his truck.
Yeah.
I can't imagine encountering one of these things and then having to walk through the woods and hearing stuff breaking behind me, you know, that
Knowing your gun is too
yeah,
small.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be, you know, terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
so
he took that though, and with, you know, with Linda's help, and they created something absolutely beautiful, you know,
yeah,
and
because that was that was so traumatic, and you know that's the beauty of their
mhm,
entire Bigfoot Odyssey too,
yeah,
is how she was able to say, you know, this is something
mhm,
you need to talk about. You need to
yeah,
get this off your shoulders. So he really understood the importance of people who've been traumatized or
yeah,
people who've been through it, whatever the experience was, to help get that out
yeah,
of their system and not hold it inside,
yeah,
you know. And he created that safe space, that safe
mhm,
environment where people weren't ridiculed. He would not put up with that at
no,
all, you know. And he created this place where people were able to share that experience and their encounters and
mhm,
not feel like they were, you know, looked at like, you know,
yeah,
and you know, there's some crazy talk or things like that. But he was just, I don't know, he was so unique,
mhm,
and it is a big loss, and
yeah,
I know everybody feels it every day. I feel it every time I go out in the woods, you
mhm.
know. I know he used to get a kick out of my little spoof videos and stuff. So every, like when I did the last one here not too long ago, you know, that was a lot of the things I was thinking about while I was out there is,
Yeah,
you know, and it was, you know, when I did podcasts and things, it was like, you know, I'm able to hold up to this, you know.
yeah,
I don't want to disappoint him, was, you know, always my thought, you
yeah,
know. But he wasn't someone that, you know, I don't think you could disappoint him.
yeah,
So he was just a really unique guy,
mhm,
really. And I don't know. I think everybody has such a unique story with him as
mhm,
well. You know, like when you hear all these different, you know,
yeah,
encounters with him or talks or conversations they've had. And,
mhm,
you know, and that was just amazing about him is how he was able to talk to anybody,
yeah,
you know, like they were just friends for a lifetime.
Mhm.
You know, like you said, or family. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, that, I mean, then that's an amazing gift,
Yeah.
you know, to have, to be able to talk to somebody like you've known them forever and you just met them, you know, and that's an amazing gift. And he definitely had that.
Yeah. And we're live. You know, I
Yeah.
really miss that a
Oh, I
lot.
do too. I
Yeah.
know there'd be times that show would be getting ready to come on, and I would be upstairs or in another room, and there was only a few times I ever remember him not saying it. And I remember one time he didn't say it, and I come running out. Ah, he didn't say it.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Jody just brought up, yeah, we've also lost Larry Batson as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's been a tough year.
Tough year.
Yeah. They just had a cruise, a Bigfoot cruise up to Alaska. Alaska is blowing up on the Bigfoot scene here lately. I'm not sure what's going on, but it has become like the place to be. And so they did I guess there's a Bigfoot cruise up through the passage and into Ketchikan, Juneau. Those amazing places. Like southeastern Alaska is incredible. It is more rainforest. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely different than like interior Alaska. And like
Mm-hmm.
what's incredible about Alaska is like from one point to the next, you can have complete like 90-degree difference in weather and everything in the same state. So, and I guess there was an incident on that cruise towards the end, and Meldrum had to be medevaced to Seattle. But I guess he is stable now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Daniela is working on, if you're just joining us, Daniela is working on some of the videos that people have submitted as their tribute for Kerry. And she's working out different tech issues with her computer, and she's changing to her laptop now. So she'll be back with us here soon.
I know a lot of people have been having tech issues on their, whenever they, on their channels. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I haven't done anything podcast wise since I've been back to Alaska. Like, this is the first time I've turned my laptop on since I've been here, and it had so many updates and for hours. I'm like, I hope it works, Daniela. I don't know. And it was, cutting it really close.
Yeah.
I thought for sure this thing was just gonna. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I love tech. That was something that I did.
Yeah.
That was my career, was technology, computer science, something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There's something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I need help with that because I'm not tech savvy at all. I got this laptop for Christmas, so, and I was like, "Where do you turn it on at?" I'm not kidding.
You know what's really interesting, talking tech-wise, is the AI-generated photos that
Mhm.
people are putting out with like Bigfoot.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've seen any of them.
Mhm.
It's going to get pretty hard and difficult, I think, for people to detect,
Yeah.
like fraud type,
Yeah. I've heard a
all the
lot of
fake.
people talking about it.
Yeah, some of the images are really, really good, and
Mhm.
then others you can tell like I'm not not falling for that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not sure where the technology is going to go with the Bigfoot
Yeah.
community and everything, but it's just going to probably get harder and harder.
Harder and harder to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard enough now. We don't need anything else to make it harder.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think one of the things with the Bigfoot Odyssey
Mhm.
that was really neat, like I said, was they would go on site and
Mhm.
they'd have these stories, and you'd get to hear the experience and see
Mm-hmm.
seeing where it took place for some reason always had a different feel to it.
Yeah.
You know, it just really seemed to make the story come alive a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
more, you know.
Yeah. I know whenever, he was here, there was a lot of stuff that happened. And, like whenever we done the swimming pool scenario, and then as soon as I got in and was cleaning the top of the pool, and I hit the net over the edge of the pool to knock the leaves out, and then that tree came over, the shock on Kerry's face, I mean, it was just like he couldn't believe it. And then they go over to look for this tree, and then they hear two loud knocks, you know. And so, and then earlier before, and earlier in the day before all that took place, he was outside, and I will never forget this. He was outside, and was in the house. Paul had left to go to the store, and he texted me. He said I can't remember if he said they're yelling or whatever, and I come out the door, and I caught the end of something, and then two perfect whoops. And he was standing there, and I'm not kidding. He had his hand up in the air with a hot dog in it. And his eyes were big, his mouth, he was like, oh my God. And then he went to fumbling to try to turn the camera on. He didn't have the camera on. And then he actually got the last, whatever it was, some kind of howl, I don't know. But it was just crazy, the stuff that was happening. And and I don't know, he came bearing gifts, I guess you could say. He brought us coffee.
Oh.
And he asked me, he said, do you have a coffee grinder? And I said, no. And I said, I got it's a little bitty food processor. He said, that'll work. And so I got it out. And before I even got a chance to do anything, he come over there, and Paul was over there. My husband was over there with him. Kerry was putting those beans in that thing and just grinding away. And I'm sitting here thinking, Kerry Arnold is in my kitchen making coffee beans with a miniature food processor. It's just crazy.
One of those moments. It's kind of surreal.
Yeah. But I will never forget when I come out that door and hearing those whoops. I've never heard whoops. But seeing the look on his face and him standing there holding that hot dog in his hand,
Wasn't he out there snacking on it? Like, wasn't he on like a
carnivore
diet? Yeah.
But
that's right.
he was out there eating lunch, and I was in the house. And yeah, it was. I can still picture him. He's standing there with this look of, "Are you hearing this?" With that hot dog held up in the air. and I couldn't believe it because I had never heard whoops, and it was two of them, two perfect, and I was like, oh my God, and but yeah, he was
that's amazing.
Yeah.
The timing of all of that.
Yeah.
You never, it seems like when you're, go out and people go back to these places and stuff, nothing ever happens. But in that case,
Well, the last day, I mean, there was things that happened the first 2 days, but nothing, but that last day was when everything happened. I mean, the vocalizations, with the whoops, and then the tree, and then the knock, or I think he said he recorded probably about 20 knocks, and then that night we seen the lights in the power line. And he was like, what?
What's happening?
Yeah. And he didn't know what to make of it. It was crazy.
Wow.
And, it was crazy. I know Paul, he was like, man, I hate to see you leave.
Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen next. Yeah, it was hearing how he didn't want, and you kind of got to watch the progression of him being nervous, really, really nervous, being in the woods, and then he talks about like how Linda walked off and he was just like,
Mm-hmm.
where are you?
Right.
You know, that panic that
Panic,
came over him, you know, and then to where he was out doing it in the field, you know, and really trying to push the game, you know, further. And he was just trying so hard and did such an amazing job at bringing awareness to the subject. And that was always his goal.
Yeah.
You know, he was never out like, I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. I'm here to just, you know, bring awareness to the subject and let people know that if you're going to bring your children out there, that there might be something more in the woods that you might want to consider and be prepared for.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't prepared. And when people are not prepared, I mean, you can't really even prepare for a sighting or an experience, because even then it's just so unreal.
Yeah.
Like, your brain just cannot process what it's even looking at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know mine, I just pushed it off because it was so fantastical in my head, you know?
Yeah.
Like, 7-foot plus dude running out and 26 below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He was.
Now, didn't you have something go on with when you was in a tent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to camp a lot by myself. And when I was out on the Deshka River, we had, my ex was a guide. And so we had a bunch of people out on the boat upriver. And I was down at the base camp by myself, and I had my dog with me. And yeah, when you hear that talking and mumbling, and at first it was like, what is that? But it was so loud across the river, you know, and you're trying to listen to what's being said because no one should be over there, and how they're even over there is confusing, you know, because the terrain, there's no way, like, there's just no way humanly possible someone's over there, you know. And so that's where you first start getting really confused, like, by the situation itself, you know, and paying attention to it and just hearing it. And you couldn't quite understand what was being said, but you know something with, like, they're definitely communicating, but I don't know what language they're speaking. And if they're out there, they got to be drunk. You know, that was what I was thinking. Is they're drunk, they're going to be needed to be rescued here any moment. They have no business being in this section, you know. And the river, the Matsu River, is glacier fed, so it's not something you're going to swim in, you know. There's nothing warm about that water, and it's fast moving. And you know, with glacier fed rivers, there's a lot of silt in it, so it's really heavy. So even if you jump in with your clothes, they're going to get filled with that silt and just sink you in a heartbeat, you know. And if they're over there, they're definitely wearing waders or something to even be in that, you know. So there's all these confusing things going on in my head as I'm listening to what's going on. You know, my dog's doing this number, and it's just really weird. And then I hear this horrible piercing scream, and it sounded like a woman. Like, you know, everybody says, well, how do you know what a woman sounds like being, you know, but that's what it sounded like, a woman in serious trouble. You know. And so me, I just, you know, I always have my Kasul with me, and I grab my flashlight and the keys to the boat, the tether to the boat, run out on the boat. And it's dark. You don't really want to cross rivers in the nighttime there. They've got big trees that go, you know, there's a lot that's happening. So I'm like shining and screaming, whistling, are you okay? Are you okay? It gets really quiet over there. And I thought, this is just so weird. Like, this just this weird, like, anyhow, my dog was just, I'm out of here, you know. That was weird because he's like, okay, all right, you know. And so I'm just kind of like listening, and I don't know, I just got it weird. So I went back up on the bank and stoked up the fire and was sitting up there, and you could hear something making its way. And I thought, oh great, whoever it is stirred up a bear or a moose, something big like that. Like, you know, the difference between a small animal and a big animal anyhow. It's like, And I'm across the river, and bears, moose, they can cross that river, no problem.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm not really safe over here, but I got my Casull. Now, Casull is it's one of the biggest handguns. I mean, it's made for bears.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gave me a lot of peace of mind. And so when I was over there, you could hear it coming across the river. And it's dark. I can't really see what's coming across the river, but I can hear it coming across the river. And I'm thinking, oh, great, this is probably not going to be good. And it comes over and gets on the shore, and you can hear it come up on shore. You can hear the water dripping off of it. I mean, you can hear it come out of the water.
Yeah.
And it's big. Like there's some body mass to it, and it's just like so uncomfortable. I don't know why tents. Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm just getting my tent too.
Get my tent.
so safe. You can't see me. I don't see you. You can't see me. I don't know. But it was one of those things where it was like, oh, well, I don't feel too cozy out here by the fire. I think I'm going to go to my tent. Now, the tent was, you know, how the camp was set off. We had a big tent that was, you know, one of those blackout tents for Alaska. And I go out there into the trees and, you know, little, not big trees, they're Alaska trees. So they're like, you know, so I get in there and I'm in there and my dog, it just, like, you can hear this thing coming, whatever it was. And I'm thinking, this is really not cool. And my dog just shoop right into my sleeping bag, all the way to the bottom. It wasn't a small dog. It was a full-grown pit bull. And it's like, what are you doing? And he was not getting out. Like, and he was staying quiet. And at that point, I thought, well, this is good because he's gotten me into a lot of trouble with moose and stuff because he was kind of, it's a horse, let's go play. Kind of. So I'm thinking, okay, well, good. At least he's not going to bring more attention to me in the tent. You could hear that thing coming closer and closer to the point where I thought, okay, I need to figure out my escape. I need to start thinking about how I'm going to handle this situation. Pulled my Casull out, and I'm not pulling my gun out of its sheath for no reason. Like that's like I was taught very well gun safety from a very young age, and so I'm preparing because you can hear it coming. You can hear it coming closer, and it's big, and it's taking like big deep steps, and it's like, oh Jesus, I don't, you know, and I'm thinking this has got to be a bear because it's so big, but you're not hearing the paws. Like I've heard bears coming up. I've dealt with bears many, many times in my tent. So I'm like, this doesn't sound like a bear, but it's big, it's heavy. You can, you know, you can feel it coming. You can hear it's definitely coming. And I am just thinking like, okay, if it comes this way, because you're hearing the positioning, and it's like, okay, if the tent comes in, what am I going to do? You know, things like that. I'm not going to have time to unzip my tent and get out of this, you know, and I'm just very intensely like trying to devise a plan, you know, and I can hear it and it comes up closer and there's something that just rubs up along the tent. And the tent I was in is a double tent and it's heavy, like it is super thick. Like we're talking an extreme. So it's on the outside secondary skin and I can hear it. I'm thinking, oh. So at that point, I'm like, it's coming in. I don't keep food in the tent. Like everything was set up properly. So but it was like, it knows I'm in here. It's definitely honed in on me. And next thing I know, I hear the boat motor coming and it's like morning.
What
just happened? And, you know, first thing, where's my gun?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just sitting there. And there's no way I would have slept with my gun. Like there's absolutely no way because there's no safety on a Casull. That's just, it's ignorant as I'll get out. But, you know, and so for him to be pulling up, it's like something's gone down. Something like they're not getting off the fishing hole. King salmon fishing is hard and it's very, you know, it's combat fishing. It's one of those things. So anyhow, you hear them and now they get up on as I'm coming out of my tent, you can hear them, you know, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Screaming for me. Well, they had heard the screams that night, but there was no way he was going to drive the boat down the river at night. But first light, they were on it. And it was like, yeah, I'm fine. He was so mad, my ex at that time. He's like, I told you, if she was in danger, we would have heard that kazoo. But the people that he was with knew I was out there on that island alone.
Yeah.
They all heard that. So that's how loud that scream was. Like, it carried down the river, and
So
it
you
sounded
don't,
like a woman.
oh, that scream. Okay. But
Yeah.
did you have time loss then, I'm assuming, or?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened between me here in that tent and debating what I'm going to do and then waking up to the boat motor coming. It was like hours at least, because it was pitch dark and daylight, so I don't know how much time passed. I have no idea what happened in between there. My dog was still in the bottom of my sleeping bag, hadn't moved that whole time, hadn't moved. So it was just,
because I had time loss with my encounter, and I've heard that encounter. I've heard you tell that before, and I had forgotten about you saying that you sitting there. But yeah, I had time loss with my encounter, so it wasn't that long of a time as you had, I don't think. But I mean, I don't even remember getting out of my own swimming pool. So
wow.
Yeah,
It's unique situations like that, where you're just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You can't find any logic to that. There's no logic, no rhyme, no reason, And so it's encounters like that, I think, that have helped other people, be able to have their story. And I always think that there's a lot of people out there like me that have had these encounters out in the woods, and they just don't know what it was.
Yeah.
They have no idea. And then the more that they probably will think about the situation going on around, they may find like, maybe that was, something other, And I think there's probably a lot more people out there who are too afraid to come forward at all. And they've got great videos, pictures, all the proof in the world, but they're just never going to come forward because of the ridicule,
Well, and that's why, it was always so important. Kerry would always try to stress that, that how important it is for people to just tell their story, because something that they say might help somebody else, or,
Yeah, and I've had so many different things, like the footprints, clear as day footprints out on the trail, like no one is out there running around hoaxing anything at 26 below, much less for miles, and then post holing through 4 foot of snow. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's just so many different encounters out there, so it's hard to define anything.
Well,
hey guys. You're breaking up just a little bit. Can you hear him, Pam?
No.
Okay. I think you guys, your connection might be, you might need to switch connections again, or whatever you did last time. Oh, go back on Firefox, or there we go. Yeah, I don't have controls of adding anyone onto the show or anything. So I hope everybody is.
This is me and Jackie here.
Yeah, I hope you're all bearing with us here. I know Daniela's working away on getting her videos together and getting her laptop hooked up. But we're here on remembering Kerry Arnold and everything he brought to the community, and what an incredible human being he was.
And at Christmas time, he always wanted to help a family at Christmas time.
Yeah.
That was something.
And he always did like the 12 days of Christmas, or yeah.
Well, but I think they would pick a Christmas family, and him and Linda would help them with Christmas. Like get gifts and stuff like that. I remember him talking about that and how much he and Linda both enjoyed that. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. And I think they even got other channels to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, inspired a lot of people in
lot
so
of
many
people.
ways. Yeah, I hope Blue Line is able to come back on. Everybody's having tech issues. So if you're just joining, Daniela is working on getting some of the videos and things together. There's been a lot of tributes that have been sent to her, video tributes from other people. And we have Linda. I can't bring Linda up, so I'm not allowed to pull her up and bring her on, but Linda has been waiting patiently to come on and join the conversation. And I know BLB is trying to get on. And I think Brent from Paranormal Portal was also going to join. So as soon as we get things lined up, they'll bring it all back together, hopefully, here soon. Yeah, so if anyone has any stories they'd like us to talk about, any certain, memories of Kerry that you'd like us to bring up, and have all these little, I know everybody has their own unique interaction with Kerry, and that was one of the things, like I said, that was so unique with him, was that he was able to make you feel special, and that you had like a bond.
That he was able to. Sorry. I was going to try.
Like, that sounded like me.
Sorry. I don't know how to get my live chat going on my laptop, and so I thought I'm going to look at it on my phone, and I thought I had everything turned off, but I didn't.
That's okay. That's all right. It's just weird hearing your own voice. I apologize.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Pam, for hanging out with us and sharing this evening with us.
It's been my pleasure. And I've never really, I've never got to meet you and talk with you. And so this has, been an honor for me to be able to talk to you. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was really nice to see you. I haven't met you, and we haven't really hung out much, in person, like face to face like this. Yeah. We've had a lot of conversations.
I've watched your videos.
I apologize for that too.
Oh, I'm telling you, by far my favorite was the one with the BB gun and the little demon. So,
if people don't know, I have a channel and I do a lot of different spoofs of the Bigfoot hunters, the monster hunters, where they have all the big powered guns and do a lot of over the top things. So I go out there with a hot pink little BB gun and a hot pink cape and do really ridiculous things. So I kind of go, I like to have fun with the topic, and everyone's, these guys are always hiding somewhere in the background.
You're very creative. That's the thing I like about your videos, is I'm like, where does she come up with this stuff?
A lot of long nights just sitting there going, oh, this would be funny.
Oh, man.
I thought I wanted to get this. This is my next, maybe, I don't know. But I also have a dog that we had recently lost. And she'd always go out hunting with me, and she's just a little thing. And I thought I should get like a miniature, like teacup little dog and make that my little Bigfoot hunting dog. Oh yeah, that's got to happen.
Yeah, name it something like Brutus or.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to say stuff like, my dire wolf, which was, Whisper. She's a little Jack Russell, Always people, that's not a dire wolf. Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Well, hey, some of them little dogs can be vicious.
Oh, she had the dire wolf personality. Let me tell you. So I always love having as much fun as possible, but you could tell when I'm out there doing serious stuff, you know. But that was one thing. Like, I remember when I was doing all those videos and Kerry would say, "Oh, you got to go see Iron Dogger's videos." I'm like, did he just say go watch my videos? No, don't. You may not be impressed.
Well, I remember that one night he and Bradley had you on, and they was saying, you gotta say tubers and footers.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Howdy, tubers and footers.
yeah.
Yeah, because they were surprised I didn't actually have that accent. Because in all my videos I do. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been quite the journey since then. I hope Bigfoot Odyssey, if you guys are able to come back in like you were, that would be awesome, because I cannot bring anyone up for some reason. Well, not for some reason. It's not my channel. That's why.
I hope Daniela makes it back.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe I should check my messages and see if she had sent me anything, just in case. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. So, well, it's been an hour. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If we should stay on, if we should try and keep going.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do.
I'm looking.
I do appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight and sticking through.
I'm gonna message her.
Okay. Lindsay, little dogs are great at that, aren't you? Yeah, little dogs are quite the hunters. Oh, she's close. Okay. So we'll let Daniela finish her thing and pull it together. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. It'll be worth the wait for sure.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of beautiful tributes sent in. And so all the videos, like your video, you know. Yeah, Bernie, I can see the chat. Pam, can you see the chat?
Yeah, let me go back.
Oh, on your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it on my phone because I can't figure out. I don't want to touch anything because right now I'm not wanting to do it.
Man, there's been enough going on.
So I'm leaving it. I'm not even. So I'm looking on my phone. There's 142 people on my phone, according to my phone, that's still in chat.
Wow. Well, thank you all for being here with us. We really appreciate it. And I know
12 Pearls says keep going.
Thanks, Pearls. Thank you. Yeah, one night Kerry called me and he was driving from work to home. And we didn't have a lot of conversations and stuff, but there was one night and I was outside by myself and he kept saying, "You're out there by yourself?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, what are you doing out there by yourself?" Like, I'm always out here by myself at night. He's like, "What? You're nuts." You know, and he could hear all the coyotes going and all the different noises, and you know, and I had a fire out there, and you know, we talked for quite some time, and he's like, "You're still outside?" Yeah. "You're not afraid to be out there in the dark by yourself?" I got a kazoo with me, Kerry. It's one of those things that gives you a peace of mind, maybe incorrectly, but it does.
Well, that's how I am when I go deer hunting, like especially muzzleloader. You know, you only got one shot, and then it takes forever to try to get that thing loaded. So I have it, and then I have my sidearm, and then I have like 2 like knives, like that long in my pack, and so I have everything like to where if I need to grab it, I can grab it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, I've tried to not let it stop me from doing things I always enjoyed. You know, but it's been hard. because I feel like every time I go outside, I'm being watched. That's what I feel
Yeah.
like anyway.
It's a creepy feeling.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm at out here is pretty remote. And like the closest store, and it's just a little gas station, is over a 20-minute drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're out there.
Yeah.
And like I am on one side of us is just a wilderness refuge,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so that's gonna be, you know, untouched forever. And so there's all this just wild remote land. You know, we had a bear take out a moose, you know, across the lake. So it's we're out here in the sticks. So I'm always, you know, trying to be as aware as I can.
Well, if I saw a moose or bear take out a moose in my yard, I wouldn't be sitting outside.
Daniela.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I had to plug my mixer in, plug the webcam in, and then the laptop wanted to update, just like yours did.
Oh no.
Like 100 hours. I was like, no. It went slow, then suddenly it speeded up. And look, we've got Brent here as well. He's finally
good.
How you doing?
Brent.
Well, I'm doing better. I'm sorry that I'm very, very late, but thank you so much for having me on and being a part of this. Of course, this is an incredible subject, and that I'm honored to be a part of this moment of coming together and remembering a great man.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad you made it. I know you've got your own show though, haven't you? And I've been running late as well. I had to switch from my computer to my laptop because it just wouldn't play any of the videos.
Oh no.
I don't even know if it's going to work now, to be honest. I hope it does because it took me an hour to sort it out. So if you need to dash, I understand.
No, I'm here for now. I'm here for a bit. I do have a show coming up in a little bit here, but yeah, I want to be here and sharing this moment with you guys.
Cool, that's great. Okay, so because there's a few videos, should we play one of them, and then we can chat a little bit more after that, and then at least we can see if it works, and if it doesn't, then I don't know what we're gonna do. Fingers crossed, everyone. Toes, fingers, the lot. Whatever you've got, across it.
There we go.
And it's updated my laptop. I don't know where anything is anymore. Hang on.
So, okay, here we go.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Is Adam on? Did I just hear Adam?
I can hear him, but I can't see him.
Yeah, I can hear. Yep.
Oh yeah, because they're logged in. Because I got them to log in to come on. But guys, let's just try. Let's just try this. I hope it works. Fingers crossed.
So, okay, here we go.
Working. No, this is the wrong one.
I'm not seeing anything either.
No, we just get the.
And you're not seeing anything.
No, we just got the spinning wheel. It's the way it goes. I've had so many shows like this. Yeah.
Let me just try one more time. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm stumped actually. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. We'll try. I mean, I'll try this one. This is the one that Pam made. We'll give
Okay.
it a go. And you just have to let me know if it's going to play.
Oh, okay, here we go.
I can hear it.
Oh, I can hear him. Yeah.
When you was little and you thought there was a monster under your bed, your parents would say, "It's just a nightmare. It's all in your head." I hope that everyone will listen and give this a second thought, because there is something out there, something we have never been taught. No, it's not the monster that was under your bed. That's supposed to be just a nightmare all in your head. This is something that no one can quite understand. It lives in the woods, is tall and hairy, and walks like a man. Just imagine being in the woods thinking monsters are not true. Then you look in the dark forest and see one staring back at you. This happens more times than we will probably ever know, because it's human nature to deny it and not tell a soul. But there are many, many people that are just like you that have experienced the same nightmare that you have went through. It's very helpful to know that other people understand how you feel. It gives you confirmation that what you saw was very real. Yes, a living, breathing monster that was never under your bed. A living, breathing nightmare that you will never get out of your head. PJ Arkansas. I wrote this poem to give to Kerry, but he never got the chance to read it. As most of you know, Kerry had a terrifying Sasquatch encounter. He was approached by a monster in the woods that day, and it completely turned his life upside down. It caused him a lot of fear and anxiety. But with the help and encouragement from his wife, Linda, he was able to funnel the fear and anxiety to create an outreach, BIGFOOT ODYSSEY. Through this platform, he made a safe place for people to share their encounters and also spread awareness. He touched so many lives and created so many friendships. It was a family that I was honored to be a part of. Now I will end this with another poem that I wrote. Kerry was a man who we called a dear friend. He was someone in the Bigfoot community on whom we could all depend. He was always the type of person to lend a helping hand. His platform of awareness and truth is where he firmly took a stand. Now it's up to us to carry on, to push forward the platform that he stood upon. We will push forth his mantle and do what we have to do, which is spreading awareness and helping others who experienced what he went through. You are greatly loved and missed, our very dear friend. We will continue to fight this battle until we finally win. Now I'm going to end this with Kerry's famous quote. It's something that he always said. It's something that he wrote. Awareness is a battle I think we can win, because it's the truth, and the truth matters. Kerry Arnold.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, that's
Really is.
wonderful. It's a really good point that you brought up when talking. One of the big things that I think about in his journey was how absolutely that event transformed his life in largely a crippling way, but yet through the love and support of Linda and he pushed through that, not only just to make the show, but then to even push further and go back out there and maybe confront his own demons in a lot of ways, and what courage that took. That to me is I think nothing short of incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really beautiful. So I think it's going to work. I think we can do this. Did that play all right?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay? Great. Okay. Well, we can go with it as it is. All right. No, it's not that one. I'm so rusty at this. I've not
All right.
done this for a while, and it's 2:15 in the morning.
It's late for you.
Well, you know, it's another day. Here we go. All right, I think it's going to work now. Here were some messages from people that they sent to me, audio, some written messages. Put them into a little video for you.
Hey Kerry, it's Matt. I just wanted to say I miss you, brother. I miss all the amazing things you used to do for people, and your advice, and your level-headedness, and this crazy community we call Bigfoot. You were truly an inspiration to so many, including myself, and not a day goes by that I don't think about you and how the world would be if you were still here. Love you, man, and praying for your family and for you up in heaven.
Hi everyone, it's Chris Stillwell, aka Still Crazy Chris on YouTube. I just want to share a memory I have with Kerry from day one. His first video, he said he was in Missouri, but he didn't say where in Missouri. So I left a comment and I was harassing him, and well, he gave me his phone number. And so I called him and, told him my 3 encounters. And at the time, now I have, more, as we know. And he just sat there and listened to me, didn't interrupt me, didn't call me crazy. And I didn't know of his encounter, and I didn't even ask him if he even had an encounter. And as we all know, in episode number 5 on Bigfoot Odyssey, we hear Kerry's story. And to me, that's one heck of a story. It's scary to me. And I don't know if I could have handled it as well as he did. And, but I'll I was with him from day one. He lives in my heart. And he asked me to do a video with him and Linda, and I was too scared, to be on camera. So I missed my chance, and I kick myself every day for that. And so I wished I would have done the video so he could have asked me questions. But I was scared to do it. Don't be scared to share your story. Just remember, Kerry lives in our hearts, and he'll always be there in my heart. And for that first video of Bigfoot Odyssey.
Hey everybody, this is Big Dog in the UK. My only involvement with Kerry was a few email exchanges, but it was enough to say he was my kind of people. For those of you that knew him well, and particularly Linda and the family, the Kerry size hole must be immense, and I just want to applaud the big guy, and I hope you can all get through this. Best wishes from the UK.
There you go, guys. A little collection, messages, people who, just shows you the impact Kerry had on people who never even met him. And, just such a big character person to lose. You just can't help but not miss, you just miss him.
Yeah, it's funny because I'd never had the opportunity to meet Kerry, but I always had the sense that the Kerry that you saw was the real Kerry. It wasn't like it was a personality that he just put on when the camera was on. I mean, that he was such a real and approachable guy, and I really respect the hell out of him,
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got someone coming on now. Very special guest tonight. Linda.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Linda.
See you on here.
Yeah, that was very nice. Thank you. I'm trying to hold it together.
It
Yes,
is very.
an hour of laughing at the two girls to now the tears. So I'm sorry. So I'm glad to see everybody.
Yeah. But grief's like that, isn't it? Up and down.
So it's damn miserable, I swear. You don't never know what you're going to do. I tell the girls at work, just whatever happens, just go with it. Because I don't know what's going to happen from one minute to another. I do good for days, and then I'll just break down in tears. So it's part of it.
Yeah. It's no surprise, though, is it? It's no surprise at all. But yeah, we've talked a lot anyway over this last year, haven't we?
Yeah. I've stayed in contact with a few people. I did back away from a lot of stuff because there was so much stuff going on at first, and I could not deal with that and deal with the stuff I had to deal with here at home. So I've had a lot of people stay in contact with me through Messenger, and I got a letter in the mail the other day from Francesca. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, there's been a lot of nice stuff still. Today's been a little back and forth. My family, of course, I told them I didn't want to be messed with today. So they've left me alone. They've called and texted all day, but other than that, they sort of let me be by myself some. That's what I wanted to do. So
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure, isn't there?
It's like me and my sister were talking. There's a lot of people that's went through losing their spouse, but nobody knows the grief that another person goes through. there's no way you can, because you don't know what kind of relationship they had behind closed doors. You know, Kerry and I, a lot of people could tell we had a very close relationship, you know, and so it still is, it's just different for everybody. It's different how they handle it, it's different how they do things, you know, and we've had to readjust here. You know, it's been a lot of adjustment and trying to figure out what to do next, and just one thing after another. But we're making it. Hunter's doing his college and holding a 3.8. He's shooting for his 4.0 this semester, so we'll see. Told him just to go have fun and live life. He didn't have to have a 4.0, but he's trying to beat his sister, I think. Because she has a 4.0.
Ooh. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so. But that was very nice. Did you ever get the Blue Line Boys back?
We're going to get them back shortly. I've got a couple more videos to play.
Okay.
We put them up.
Yep.
And
do it.
I'm not trying to rush it, but it's just because I started, you know.
We only waited an hour for you, Danielle. So. It's okay.
As Kerry would say, we're working without a net.
Oh, look, Kerry would have probably already threw it. Like, we'll do it tomorrow night. So you did much better.
Yeah, well, I worked on this a lot, and I wanted to do it for today, you know. And we're still doing it. Okay, let's go. Getting good at this now.
It's coming back to you.
Yeah, this is a great guy. I love this guy a lot. Gary Spikes Jr., who also had a close relationship with Kerry. You know, they connected their experience. And here we go.
Well, this is
sorry.
Probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've been trying to get my head wrapped around this thing all weekend. Last week, Miss Daniela reached out to me with Hidden Existence. Of course, this is going to be on her channel, but she wanted me to do a little tribute to Kerry Arnold. You know, me and Kerry became pretty good friends there the last year or two before he that tragic accident, which was almost a year ago to the day. And she's doing a little tribute show to him. And well, I feel honored. I thought there would be a lot of other people that would be better fitting for this, but it was expressed to me by multiple people that there at the end we got fairly close, and I actually had the great honor of helping her with the tribute to him. So she thought it was fitting for me to speak. So what does Kerry mean to me? As most of y'all know, I had a real tragic sighting in 2016, and I was dealing with it. You know, I actually had PTSD from it and a lot of bad things, you know, coming from it, bad mentality and stuff like that. And I had got to know Daniela, and she said, "Why don't you do a show with Kerry? Kerry wants to talk to you." And he's had a sighting. Of course, I had heard Kerry's sighting multiple times over the years. And I said, sure. Well, it's funny because it took like 3 attempts, because with his job, and which I understood completely because I was in oil field too. I'm retired oil field like he was. He was a company man. I was a roughneck. But I understood, but it took like 3 times. And I'll be honest with you, at first I thought it was maybe because the importance level was not there. But I'm not going to knock anybody for trying to make a living, you know. But when we finally got together on a show, and got to talking, and I thought it was going to be like an interview with me. Well, it turned out to just be, and it's still on his channel. I think they've still got it up. It just turned out to be me and him talking about our experiences. And that was probably one of the most enlightening and emotional moments for me, was him helping me. He literally helped me get over mine because he had a tragic sighting also, and that started a friendship. And Kerry was such a loving guy, man. I don't care what anybody says about him. He didn't take no flack, but he was really compassionate about the subject matter and people. You know, all the documentaries that he did was just phenomenal. And I had the great opportunity of actually helping him on a few, especially there at the last. And just a great guy to know. I'm honored to have been able to call him friend and him to call me friend. There at the like I said, those last couple of years we started hanging. He'd be on the job site and call. He'd be bored, and we'd just sit up all night talking. Just a phenomenal individual. He was a saint of a man. He's a big guy, you know. And I feel the only regret I have is we had planned on getting down to Louisiana and getting out in the swamp together. And he was not much into research per se, field research, but he was willing to get out and go. I told him, I said, we need to go out and hunt for the Honey Island swamp monster, you know. And I was going to bring the wife and Scout, and he was going to try to get Linda to come out with us, but we never got to do that. And it's so sad because the way that he was taken from us, I feel, you know, we've all faced loss in our family, and, you know, it hurts. Well, I felt like Kerry was part of my family because he was a daily, if not at least daily, 2 or 3 times a week, he was part of our conversation or in the conversation, you know, talking to us and stuff. Many a nights video chatting with the guy. And like I said, I'm honored to be able to do this, and I'm honored to be able to call him friend and brother. And even after he's gone, he's still touching people. And that's what, I mean, if he's sitting up there, you know, in that great place in the sky and looking down, I think he sees the love that we have for him. And for me personally, I have a lot of love for you, brother. I miss you. I will for a long time. But I know you're in a better place. Linda's still holding strong. We're still holding strong. And hopefully, if I deem myself worthy enough and the great creator of all things sees fit, we'll tromp through the woods together again, brother. Love you, man. Talk to you later.
He's just the best, isn't he, Gary?
Yeah.
He really is. He really is. He really thought a lot of Kerry, loved him. You know, like I say, it's just such a sad loss to so many people. He really, really touched people in a incredible way. And I know a lot of people, you know, need this tonight, come together tonight, talk about him, remember him. And, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Obviously, with all your help, everyone who's contributed, everyone who's here tonight, it's important to me, to Linda as well, to remember him. Not that we forget him.
No, you can't forget him.
No. There's some people that just walk through life and you can't help but notice him. And he was and is one of those people. It's just, there's so much about him that was likable, you know, from this, he was a giant of a man, but he was gentle and caring. He was grounded and down to earth, and he sincerely cared about people. You know, it wasn't like, again, it was just as sincerely who he is. It's just this caring, compassionate soul. And also the fact that he came at everything, in my experience with him, with a real level head. He wasn't prone to, jump into anything. It was like he was very measured in his approach with, calm, cool thinking and rational logic, reasoning. And he really, in the time that he was doing this, he left such a huge footprint in this field and in this space. And I think that, hopefully that will inspire so many more to come along with that same approach, because he wasn't about division. He wasn't about, arguing over semantics and stuff. He was just about spreading awareness, because one of the things that I was blown away is that he came, one of his shows, and he said it a lot, but he's like, people have a right to know. And I was just like, wow, that hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, of course, I want to know. I wanted to talk about this Bigfoot thing and to explore it, but I hadn't really considered the fact that people are going into these spaces, these wild places, the parks and stuff, basically unaware. And he was wanting people to know. And that stuck with me. That, you know, a lot of what we're doing is, you know, maybe we'll never prove it. Maybe we'll never, you know, drag a body in or show the perfect evidence or stuff, but at least people will have an awareness that something's out there. So yeah, it's just such a giant of a man, and not in his stature, but in his heart.
Yeah, that was that was one thing he always said. You know, you may never prove it because my gosh, they've been trying to prove it for many, many years. But just to be aware of your surroundings and what could be a possibility, because you have people that go with their kids camping and kids are off playing, and so that was his main thing. Just everybody to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Know where your location is, where you need to go to get away from trouble. So, and that's what he was accomplishing. So,
it made a difference when
yeah.
people were aware. It completely changed people's experience, and we know that because we had a couple of people on who didn't even believe in Sasquatch, but his brother was into it and got him to watch some episodes. And he's out hunting one day and he sees this Sasquatch. He said, "I just knew. I wasn't worried. I already knew what it was. You know, I was calm. It was just like one of those positive stories, one of those good stories that comes out of it, where actually the fact that he knew there could be something out there just changed the whole experience. He doesn't feel like he's, scared or anything. So that was the whole point, is to raise awareness and to let people talk, just to be able to share an experience in an environment where no one's going to laugh at you. And some of the things that you hear, if you'd hear them anywhere else, it just wouldn't. You'd be laughed at. Some of this stuff is so crazy, but there's stuff going out there. People don't respond the way they do because of nothing. So I'm glad he created that. It means a lot to people, and hopefully there's still some places out there where people can go, because it didn't have to be just at BIGFOOT ODYSSEY. Everybody could do the same thing, just offer an ear, offer some empathy and listen to someone. So
and that's usually all it takes. But Kerry had a way of not just listening to people and letting them feel safe. He had a way of bringing other people together. There was numerous times he brought other channels, into his own BIGFOOT ODYSSEY to do the show or to come together and make a video, of saying Merry Christmas. And, so it was bringing everybody together, not just people, but the channels, and quit the knick-knacking and he said, she said. And so that was the peace in it, I guess you would say. He had a way of keeping the peace.
Definitely. Definitely. Always calm. Always calm back then.
He was definitely, it was funny because whenever he was to where he didn't want to be calm, I just say, okay, time to breathe. And he would say, okay, I got to think about it. We did not want him not being calm. So, did not want that. So he would, put the phone down and just take some good deep breaths and just sit there. And you could see the wheels turning, and then he would handle it and it would be handled in the correct way. So it was just, he was fun to watch. If you were ever here at the house, I was telling the girls earlier, editing, the first 5 minutes after he had not done it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, he invented all kinds of new words. But after he had it going, man, it was just, he had it going. But the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm going outside. I'll see you later, honey. So he just had this air about him, and that's the thing, if anything, that everybody could see. He had a way of just talking to people, and people of all different statues. It didn't matter, from kids up to elderly. He just had that way about it.
That's right. That's right. Got a comment here, Vincent Ricci. From what I've seen watching Kerry's shows and videos, never tried pushing his narrative. He presented the evidence, gave his opinion, and let everyone think what they wanted. And that was right. We never pushed anything on Bigfoot Odyssey. Nobody knows what those things are. And that's all you can do. It's all you can say. You can't start agreeing to things that we just don't know. It doesn't set a good, sort of
No,
really.
but if you listen to different people's encounters, all of them's different. Some of them may be aggressive, some may not. So you can't just say, okay, they're all like this or they're all like that. You don't know that. You don't know. There's a lot of women that are very easygoing, laid back. You never hear them raise a voice, but you mess with their kids and see what happens. They become a whole different person. So you can't just go by they're all the same, because nobody's all the same.
No.
And that's why he let people believe the way they wanted to believe. He just wanted them aware.
Right, I've got another video.
Okay.
Got to plow through these because we've got a few. We need to do this tonight.
Go for it.
Yeah, we're going for it. All right, guys. This is from Tex. Again, they were close, He still misses Kerry a lot. Let him tell you.
Kerry Arnold. We miss you. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. You had more influence over more people than you ever thought you did. You were the glue for a lot of people. You were that person that just your presence kept the peace. Not only your family and loved ones have suffered after your loss, this entire, what we loosely call a community, has suffered by your absence. Kerry, I knew you quite a while. And you were an inspiration to so many, myself included. I know not just me, but a lot of people, if they ever had an issue or they had a doubt or if they were confused or they didn't know what to do, they could always call you. You were pretty much an open book. You really didn't pull any punches on how you felt. And people loved you for it. Some people not so much. But you didn't care. Your goal, which overshadowed a lot of resentment from a lot of people, was to get the truth out there, or what you knew as the truth. And you didn't let anything or anybody stand in your way. A lot of people can say a lot of things about you that don't like you, but you were a force to be reckoned with. Not just in the Bigfoot YouTube community, but as a person. And I mean that as a very good thing. You had a commanding presence about you. And you weren't allowed, you weren't, life didn't allow you to make that presence as known as a lot of us feel that it should have been. You were cut short in our minds. Somebody with a knows a lot better than we do had other plans. And I honestly feel that way. All the answers that we're still down here looking for, you got. When I first met you, after your experience, and I don't want to make this all about Bigfoot, but when I first met you, you swore you'd never go back in the woods again. And I told you. I said, take baby steps. You'll get there. And you did. In a big, big way. You not only went back out there, you drug a lot of people out there with you. You did things that everybody else talks about. But when you said something that came to fruition, you didn't let nothing stand in your way. You were blessed with having a partner in life, Linda, a great woman, supported you, still does. Y'all made a hell of a team. You really did. And we miss you, brother. We still love you. I sure would like to have you back, and I know there's a lot of other people that say the same thing. But like I said, man upstairs has other plans. There's a lot of us around here that have a lot of have you to thank for a lot of stuff, whether they want to admit it or not. You set the bar high. There's things that came to pass that breaks my heart. It really does. But everything happens for a reason. Whether we like it or not. I love you, Kerry. I love you, Linda, Daniela. Godspeed, brother. Carry on.
There you go. They're all emotional. They're all touching.
Yeah.
Brent's had to go. He's got his show to start soon. Yeah, thank you for that text. He's working tonight, otherwise he would have been here. So, yeah.
He had such a huge impact on everyone. And another thing he did that had never been done before was bringing so many researchers together for 168. That had never been done before. Kerry's the first and really the only one that had pulled something to that magnitude off.
Yeah. That was the start of something, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
And, hopefully people will take from that. I'd like to see something happening in the Bigfoot world, something moving, something really, I don't mean just Bigfoot, but to see the whole movement. But yeah, Kerry put a lot of time into it. He was really passionate about the subject, and it would be great to know what he saw. Great to actually know real, something found. I mean, obviously, what we all want, but just to end that story, like, what is this thing? Will we ever know? But yeah, how you doing, Linda?
I'm okay. I knew Texas was going to be hard because he had
tonight.
Huh?
We're putting you through this tonight. I'm sorry.
No, I knew Tex would get me.
Yeah.
I'll get him later, but I knew he would get me. So
Yeah. He really
I'll
would.
just go off when I need to go off. I figure out these little buttons down here, so
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'll do what I got to do. How many more we got?
Yeah, we've got another couple of little ones, and then we'll get the blue line Bigfoot boys on. I hope they're still here. They're not down in the bottom.
There's no telling where those two are. No, there's no telling where they are.
They could be absolutely anywhere. All right. This one here is how do we do that?
Hey guys, this is Chris Clyer from the Missouri Bigfoot Group.
Chris Clyer, he was on early 3 years ago. He was one of our first, around 50 something. He was on, Chris Clyer, and really nice guy, and obviously had contact with Kerry in between, and he wanted to contribute. He made a video, so there we go.
Hey guys, this is Chris Clyer from the Missouri Bigfoot Group. When I first called Kerry, he didn't answer the phone, and I thought there is no way that this guy's going to have the time to talk to me. And he called me within 5 minutes, and we had the longest conversation. And, Kerry, you're just a great guy. Miss you dearly. I know everybody does. Linda, if you ever need anything, hit me up, or Daniela. Kerry was a good friend and a good friend to all of us. He was just larger than life, and he was funny. Every time we talked, we would joke around, and it was just always a good time with him. I miss him dearly. He is at the first one that I ever told my story to. Something about the way he described the fear, it resonated with me, because anytime that I would think about my first encounter, nobody could. I didn't think anybody would be able to understand how scary an encounter is. So anyway, Kerry, dude, I love you, man, and I miss talking to you every single day. And I hope and pray, man, one of these days we see each other again. Thank you.
There we go, bless him. One from Chris there. And the next one, most of us are going to know this guy. Jeff Townsend. Kerry called his bodyguard. He was his bodyguard.
Jeff's everyone's bodyguard.
Oh, yeah. He's a top man. Honestly, if you're friends with Jeff, you've got a friend there, and you're lucky to know someone like that. He is an incredible guy, and he's made a little video. Hopefully, the audio will be all right. I wasn't able to tweak it very much, but we'll give it a go. Here we go. Oh no. Okay.
My name's Jeff Townsend. A lot of you probably know me, a lot of you don't, sure. I was a member of BIGFOOT ODYSSEY for a long time. And Kerry Arnold was one of the best friends I ever had in my life. I loved him like a brother. And that was warranted on his part. He was very good to me. I don't know what he saw in me, but he saw something he liked. And I'll be forever grateful that he did. I was asked to go on 2 different expeditions with him. The first one was cut short 5 days. It was a 10-day expedition, but we had to cut it short due to COVID. They were closing down every campground. Everywhere we went, they were closing it. And we simply just had to pack up after 5 days and call it quits, try again next year. And we did. But the last place we wound up on that first expedition was Kerry's old hunting property where he had his encounter at. And that worried me greatly for him. Now he kept a good game face on, but let me tell you folks, it had to bother him. What happened to him was terrible. Hope it never happens to another human being. But what happened to Kerry was terrible. It terrified him. He thought he would lose his life that day. And he thought the forces didn't. His actions probably determined him remaining alive. His wife Linda, I got to tell you, Linda, I love you so much, and I respect you so much, and I appreciate you so much. And I'm so sorry this happened to you and your family. It hurt me. It hurts me every time I think of him. I loved him. I absolutely loved the man. Had every reason to love him. He was very good to me. And I've been to his home several times. And Linda couldn't be any sweeter and nicer than she is to me. She's quite a wonderful lady. Linda always got your back, like I told you I would. Got your back anytime you need me. I got to pick up that phone call. Oh, Jeff will come, buddy. I promise you that. I'll come. So it's a sad thing. He was taken real early from us, way too early from us. Kerry had a lot of things he wanted to get across, but none no more than awareness. Being aware when you're out in the woods, because he was caught unaware. He was caught very unaware. And he didn't want that to happen to anyone else. I see why. I got caught unaware myself. Luckily, I was armed with something adequate. He just had a shotgun. He was turkey hunting. He just had a shotgun with a number 4 turkey loads in it. And that wasn't enough. He knew that. Bless his heart. I saw that figure firsthand myself. I followed his every footstep when we were on that property. And he recognized that fact too. Thank me for that. You got nothing to thank me for, man. I said, I would hope to God if something happened to me like that, that somebody would follow me around and watch my back for me. And I didn't mind doing that at all. None whatsoever. And ain't a booger on that place wouldn't have had to kill me to get to him. That much I can assure you of. I stepped in front of him at any time in the harm's way myself to protect and defend him. And I think if you knew that. Well, that's all right. Call me whatever you want to. It didn't matter to me. As long as you smile when you said it. We aggravated each other a lot. all in good, clean fun. Kerry's a good man. If you think you don't think he was a brave man, Kerry's a big old boy. You walk up to Kerry and say the wrong thing to him, what's going to happen to you? He'd probably get up and apologize. He ain't scared of no man. What he had fear of wasn't no man. What he had fear of was a monster. And I seen him up close and personal 4 different times. Up close and personal, let me tell you. I would, if you just want a sighting done, be real careful what you ask for, folks. You may spend the rest of your life trying to get over that sighting. It took me over years to come to terms with my first one. And they tried to kill me twice since then. I don't mean they escort me out. I mean they actually kill me. I just put the light. I'll kill them first. And I believe they can sense your intention and your, I believe they read your thoughts and your intentions. And when they read mine, it all stopped. I think they know what was coming. If something's trying to kill you, you ain't got one choice. You kill it. That's the only justice there is in this world. If something tries to kill you, kill it. That's the only way it can be, unless you just want to die. I don't want to die yet. I got family I love, friends I love, and things I want to do yet. And anything tries to kill me, I'm gonna do my very best to kill it first. Not that I want to. I don't like killing. No, I don't like killing nothing. Never have liked killing nothing. But I'll kill before I let something kill me. I promise you. I won't think twice about it. I won't have any remorse over it if it tries to kill me. It got what it asked for if it does. So Kerry's mission was awareness. One of the y'all to be aware of what was actually out there in the woods. And Kerry done a heck of a job with that, and I'm going to take it a step further. I don't want you to just be aware. I want you to be aware, absolutely aware. But I want you to take precautions to protect yourself. Take you a 12 gauge pump you need to with some double lock bullets out of slugs. I wouldn't carry anything less than 357 Magnum pistol. I'd take a bigger one if I could shoot it. I take a 10 millimeter everywhere I go, in the woods or out of the woods. Got 10 millimeter on my hip. I got it on right now. Just because of what I've seen, and I know it's real. It's out there. Protect yourself, folks. You're the only one can protect yourself. Protect your family. Be aware, but have means to protect yourself. And that's coming from somebody that's lived it. If I hadn't had means to protect myself, the ability to use it, and the determination to remain alive, I wouldn't back in this video right now, I'd be gone. So these things ain't your little furry forest friends like people think they are. They're mean, and they're ugly, and they're vicious. And they will kill you, and if they do, they won't have one ounce of remorse about it. They kill every day for a living. That's what they do, they're killers. Kill to survive, kill to eat. They don't want a dang thing to do with us. So be aware of that fact. And don't get caught up in fairyland thinking they're your buddies. You find out how big a buddy they are. You out along the woods, they catch you unarmed. You'll find out just exactly how big a buddy you are to them. You just might be suffer. So I'm asking you to be aware, be adequately protected, adequate protection to defend yourself and your family, and be kind to each other. Above all, be kind to one another. Kindness, people, I've never met anybody that was kind to me. Treat people like you'll be treated yourself. Be kind to people. And probably a lot happier in life. God bless y'all. Kerry, I love you, brother. I'll see you soon, man. Linda, I love you, hon. Then you call me. And everybody else, God bless you. And hope you get everything you want in life. Just be aware. Be safe. God bless you.
There you go, Jeff Townsend. Bless him. Done it all. He's getting the word out, doing exactly what Kerry wanted. People aware. And he truly loved Kerry. I mean, he really did. He was his bodyguard. He'd protect anybody. He's a great guy.
Very passionate.
Yeah. So, night's getting long. We need to get blue light guys on. Pam, I know you need to go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go.
Thank you so much for staying on.
Well, thanks for having me. And Good talking with you, Jackie.
Yeah, thanks, Pam.
Yeah, thank you so much as well, you two, for holding the fort there.
Oh, you should have heard them.
I was listening. I was listening on my phone to
I'm sitting here going, these girls. They did so good.
All of us need to go on a cruise together. Could you imagine what that would be like?
Oh.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't make it back to port, probably.
But anyways, but I was just wanting to thank you for inviting me on, Daniela and Linda. Paul and I love you, and our invitation's still open. So
I'll talk to you later this week.
okay, alrighty. But thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon.
All right.
You have a good
All right.
night.
All right. Love you guys. All right. Good night.
Good night. All right. Well, are the Blue Line guys there in chat? If you are, do you want to come back into StreamYard, and then we can have a chat. I hope they're still there.
I thought I saw him in there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna send them a little message because, like I said, it's gone a bit longer than I thought, and they may have fallen asleep. I don't know. But it's been good. It's been good so far. Even just, as sad as it is, just cathartic to even listen to people, being able to express what Kerry meant to them, and how they affected their lives. And everyone in the chat as well. So many people in the chat. I'm sorry I've been missing out. I've been reading the comments. Old Spirit Art, Kerry gave people at least a fighting chance by knowing what they're up against out there. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Mark Newville, he texted me today, told me he knew I was probably overwhelmed with texts and everything. So there's a lot that still keep in contact. I know a lot of people's asked about Bradley. Bradley, after Kerry's death, had to step away from everything. I know he's, talks to Mark and Larry, and he talks with Pam. So everybody has to handle their grief in their own way. And that's what I think most people have to remember. Sometimes people have to step away in order to breathe. So
it affects everybody differently, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to see if they're still. Right in chat. I wonder if they've had to go.
Yeah, I haven't seen them recently, I guess.
Well, hopefully they'll come on.
There might be technical issues too. I mean, because we've been having them all night.
We've been having them all night.
Yeah, it wasn't just one person either. It was several. So
Yeah. Well, I do have something else here. Let me just get it up.
What is it?
Okay. So, guys, are you in the chat? Are you there or not? Otherwise, I will have to go with this, and hopefully you'll just join us. Because I did want them to come on. I did want to tell them that there was another documentary that Kerry did, and I'm going to play it tonight. So I hope the guys come in, because they might know a little bit about this. Are you ready?
Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot or Grassman. In the South, is referred to as skunk ape or wood booger. and across the globe, Yeti, Yowie, and Yeren, to name a few. Every Native American tribe has a name for the beast, some as endearing as Big Brother, or as ominous as Boss of the Mountain. They've been depicted on the walls of caves for thousands of years. In 986 AD, Leif Erikson, after landing on the shores of what is now America, wrote of being attacked by large, hairy, man-like beasts. In 2016, there were over 5,500 reported sightings of these creatures worldwide. There is an abundance of physical, empirical, and anecdotal evidence of the existence of these seemingly human primates, yet it is still considered a myth. Our focus is not to research or try to prove Bigfoot exists, but to highlight the many men and women that do. My co-host Linda and I will travel the country, interviewing and taking expedition with those that have the courage to call themselves cryptozoologists and Bigfoot researcher, probing and tapping into what motivates their search, showcasing their best evidence, and bringing to you the different styles and methods they use to hunt this elusive creature. I'm Kerry Arnold, and this is Bigfoot Odyssey.
In this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, travel show number 13, we're in the scenic environs of the Adirondacks, inside the Blue Line, with one of my favorite YouTube channels, Blue Line Bigfoot. We'll talk with Adam and Jake. We'll hear some of their accounts and experiences and what got them started on their own Bigfoot Odyssey. Now, Adam and Jake, take us on your own journey, going from average Joe to having your own YouTube channel.
Well, Jake, where should we begin?
Oh, I think we should start at the beginning, Adam. Let's go way back before this thing ever started.
Way back before this ever started. Okay. How far back? Like when we were kids or?
No, not that far. Let's go back. How about we focus right from 2014, 2015, and maybe 2013 on. 2013 on.
So you're talking about when me and Jake throughout our lives always wanted to do something fun with video and have a good time. And then we started looking into like a bunch of different things that happened to us in the Adirondacks where we live. And we wanted to come up with a fun show about paranormal activity and unknowns in the Adirondacks.
Winker and Buzz.
Winker and Buzz, yeah. Winker and Buzz, Adirondack Paranormal Investigators. And it's kind of started there. We went on a couple shoots, actually. We shot some stuff. We were looking into maybe getting some stories from people who have had UFO encounters and whatnot. We were kind of working our way through.
Like us. Ironically, one of our first shoots was right down the road on
Federal
Flats Road, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have that footage. It's unreleased footage.
Bonus.
Then something happened. Okay, it was an encounter. It was something that happened to me personally that was very unexplainable. Looked into it, and it kind of seemed like all the signs are pointing toward maybe this was Bigfoot. And we went from wanting to go investigate ghosts and UFOs and anything else, including Bigfoot, to wanting to do just Bigfoot at that point. And we just hit the ground running and went from there. Jake, what do you think? You seeing something up there, Jake?
Yeah, is that a cardinal or a blue jay just leaning in on top of that? Oh, geez Louise.
Tough to tell in this light out there.
Hard telling, not knowing. Sorry to get distracted. I think it was the abundance of paranormal and kind of things you can't put your finger on, experiences that we had before we looked into Bigfoot that kind of got us already rolling in this direction. But once you get up here, I'll just say we don't have to go looking because it's in our backyard. So, geez Louise.
We don't have to go anywhere to do some field research or talk to people who've had experiences with Bigfoot, and it makes it easy and it's fun.
UFOs, and
and UFOs, yeah, lights, strange lights, UFOs.
I didn't like
Dog
that
man,
one.
sometimes Jake, dog man.
I didn't like that one. No.
Jake, what about like something? We'll get into my little story a little bit later. What about you? Didn't you have an interesting story that kind of happened? Part of it right down this road, or something?
Yeah, it did start right on this road, about 3 or 4 tenths of a mile to the left, about 267 paces from where we are right now.
Let's go to the exact location. Have Jake walk us through it.
Well, I guess here would be the spot. It all happened right here. Is where we were out here on the deck, real late, early in the morning, and I think the party kind of broke up, and that's when I just came out here and started walking. The date started early because we were cooking for our friend's wedding. Tom and Molly were getting married down at the beach. My better half, Catherine, and I had been elected to help out with some of the food down there. And since Katie already ran the beach stand, the concession stand down there, a food place out of there, it was a good, only seemed natural. Could run it right out of there, and quick and easy, right? So that's how it started, and then it went on to the wedding, and then it progressed to the after hours, and kind of the last man standing party around the big table in the rental house up the road. The big. Anyway, long story longer. We'd been up a long time, the royal we, and it was about 2 a.m. and it was time to head home. And it was one of those, how you ever drink yourself sober? They say drink yourself sober, but it's not really that. It's more like you stop drinking after a little while. So like the last 3 hours, maybe you're nursing like 2 beers. Maybe that was it, because I wasn't full, but at the same time, I had 2.7 miles to walk, so I knew I had to. I couldn't be, one-eyeing it back to the place. Anyway, long story longer, I start the walk, and it was 2010. In 2009, I dropped a lot of weight. I got down to fighting weight. Jeez Louise, I was probably going 170 around that time, and then I got down to like 155. I was doing a bunch of rock work, and wow, I was, so I was watching that Rocky Balboa marathon on Labor Day weekend about a month or so before that. So, I'm running down the road, I'm jogging, feeling good about myself, not necessarily about my choices of not getting a designated driver that night. But, so anyway, I'm jogging home.
How long was it?
Jeez, what?
The distance that you had to go from where that house.
2.7 miles
2.7
from our old house on Church Road across from St. Joe's.
It's not too far, but it's
not
almost
bad.
3 miles,
Yeah.
It's substantial.
And there's only one hill. Kelly Hill is nice, but that's a little 2-part kind of hill that it's not too bad.
Just a slight uphill at the end up from the dam and then up to your house.
Yeah. See, usually I like to you do that last burn. So from Gagno's house up to St. Joe's, I used to like to sprint.
Yeah.
That last.
Finish strong.
Oh yeah, you gotta finish strong, but all that's only on paper. It didn't work out necessarily 100% of the time, all the time. But that time, it was about halfway through the journey. I got down to this almost to Hewitt's place, coming around the corner, getting over the dam, or getting over the Minerva Stream, almost to the dam. And I had been running downhill, and there's a little flat part, and I stopped by the bridge there, and just to like catch your breath. And it was nice out that night. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. Early October, was October 2nd, 2010, I believe the wedding day was. I'll have to go look at the napkins that I got upstairs. But it was a beautiful day, like, really warm and even not too bad that time. And actually, right before then, coming around that corner, I was getting so hot and doing kind of the Rocky Balboa thing. Took my shirt off, and I was feeling good about myself. I wouldn't take my shirt off now because I'm not down to fighting weight. But anyway, I get to the bridge, and I'm not there like 45 seconds to a good minute, but I'm like catching my breath, and it's just like, it's like a slow thing, and I'm like, so bridge was a good spot to kind of stop and, collect your breath. And so, use the guardrail for, set that purpose, and just sitting there looking at the moonlit waters, I hadn't been there, not even a minute, but about a good minute, long enough to catch your breath after a nice little 10-15 minute jog. But here's the thing, you get to that point, you turn to go, and it sounds so close you could reach out and touch it. You hear this huge splash, not 35, 40 feet from me, like straight out. And, it's all dark. And that side of the stream, it's all swampy, and it's the brush is so thick you can't get through it, and there's snakes and everything in there, so it's no bueno. So there's like no way to get out to this clutch of maybe 3 pines out there, which makes it even look darker. But it was like right in front of there, 15, 20 feet, boom. I hear this, heard the first splash. And okay, so it's 2:15, 2:20 in the morning. Like, who's going to be the practical joker following me down? They're not going to do it. If they go around even getting back there, there's no way they could have got back there. Geez Louise, I'm telling you, this rock came out of nowhere. And I kind of, like I said before, I was a little bit younger. This was 2010. Okay, so that's 13 years ago. I was a young buck just coming into my 40th year. So you're starting to feel your rage, but at the same time, you're holding on to your long hair and things of this nature. I think you drink yourself sober. You're back. You just had a good, 1.5 mile run. You sweat it all out of you. So you kind of get some beer muscles on. You're almost down to fighting weight. And, okay, like I said, it'd been a party. We had a couple libations that day, so I may or may not have had some beer muscles on. So at that time...
Plus, you said you were fighting.
Well, I'm down to fighting weight,
so you were
I'm fighting weight.
You're probably feeling like
Jack now.
Pretty like...
I'm New Jack City.
You were feeling really...
I had 4 abs at the time.
You were ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
You're like, hey, now
like what? Plus, I know it's an animal, so it's not like, I know it's like, it's gotta be, I gotta be able to,
sure,
write it off. So I got some beer muscles on. That first splash, I'm like, man, who's out here at this time of night? So I'm like, try that again. Not even like a second, a complete second went by before a much larger splash happened. And he had to have been ready. And it wasn't no animal. There weren't no beaver tail.
Now, what makes you think it wasn't just a beaver?
Well, I grew up, Kerry, right next to beaver dams. I've been around beavers my whole life. My Adirondack country boy. I know what the sound of a beaver tail sound like. Something like this.
So more of like a flat smacking sound.
Yes, or a shot. Sounds more like a shot. Boy, from far off, you hear that reverb up the valley, you might think somebody touched one off.
And this isn't what you heard? You didn't hear this shot type of sound?
Oh, absolutely. No, you can hear the depth of it. See how there's no depth to that sound? What do you hear this?
Just on the surface.
Flat, motionless plane. It wasn't no bear pushing over a deadfall into, like, it wasn't a splash, you know, it was a rock. And I'm like, man, you could hear the depth of the water, you know, right at the bridge. The water's deep in Minerva Stream. It's shallow everywhere else except for a few deep pools. But
yeah, I was going to ask that.
You could hear it on the first one, but the second one, boom, and it's like, I'm colorblind, but if you could have seen my face, it must have went white, because I did not wait around. I did an instant, like the Barney Rubble, where you go up and your feet start doing this, and that's what it felt like.
Action.
So it's like Federal Flats Road is a good 250 yards up the road, and I sprinted, which, geez Louise, I don't think I could sprint that well, I know I couldn't sprint today, but even if there was something extra adrenaline carrying me, because I wasn't stopping, I wasn't looking back.
You feel
I didn't have any beer muscles, and I got all the way up that hill and past Hewitt's and past Dunkley's, and there before I finally was, like sucking wind, like and slowed down to like walk backwards down the middle of the road, like WTH was that? What the heck was that, man?
Did you feel like Usain Bolt when you were running?
Yeah, only I'm going to soil my britches and I might not make it home alive. So the fear gets, I've only had fear in me as a grown adult male, 3 times in the dark. Like, so one I think was infrasound from a dog man in Johnsburg back in 2016, 18. Well, sorry, I'm getting eaten alive, but when did we do the Stony Creek Files?
I don't know. You're the dates guy, not me.
Well, here's the thing. It was summer after that.
Some Natropel, as seen on BLB, I took it in the liquid and I rubbed it down under my sock line. And then I took the stuff and I rubbed it over the top of my socks. I've been sitting here fine.
That's where I went wrong. Thanks to our sponsors, the Natropel.
Thanks to our sponsors. They dropped us.
What?
But then they picked us back up again. I guess it was some kind of clerical error. Like, I guess the new guy came in and was trying to, and made a mistake.
He unsubscribed button.
I called them up. I said, listen to me right now. You think you're dropping the BLB? You're not dropping the BLB. I don't think so. And they were like, what do you mean?
What's the BLB?
We didn't drop it. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, I noticed, and I was like, oh, that was our fault. We're sorry. And they sent me a case of Natropel again.
Clerical error?
That's what they told me.
Can't get good temps these days.
I mean, this stuff works, guys. If you don't use it, Natropel, it's excellent. Jake's using the lotion version. Really good for really getting good coverage.
Yeah.
And you can put it on pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And they kind of leave you alone. The stuff is, I swear by it. And the spray is really good for on the go. Just if you don't want to get anything on your hands or something.
Yeah.
Just spray around real quick. Boom, you're gone. Off and running.
Uneasy Rider. I put it on thicker and heavier as it went.
Jake, was that like it at that point? You got home and then that was like, nothing else weird happened between, once you got home, or did anything weird happen when you got home?
Well, I didn't get any more rocks thrown at me, if that's what you mean. That's a riveting account, Jake. This was 4 years before you started filming with Adam, if I'm not mistaken. What makes you think it wasn't Bigfoot? That's a weird thing, Kerry. It was years before we even got together, starting the paranormal stuff that eventually led to the BLB. And after hearing all of the evidence, from all those Blue Line Wednesdays and other researchers' reports that you guys had put together, all the signs kind of pointed to that,
you're out in the woods. You're familiar with the area. Why are they trying to contact you? I don't know. It's just something in your gut kind of tells you. Something kind of rings true, and always has.
Interesting, Jake. How about you, Adam? Feel like sharing your encounter with us?
Well, sure, Kerry. I'd love to tell everyone kind of like an experience that kind of started all this stuff for me. It was many years ago, I'd say between like 8 years ago and 10 years ago or something. Not good with dates, but I had a recording studio set up in the old family barn over on Burns Road, and that's where I had all my music stuff set up for that particular summer into the fall. And I was one night after work recording a song, a new track I was working on. I was in there, I had my whole studio set up, and I had headphones on and was listening to the track and working on it, And some noise came over the headphones, and I thought that it was coming from the computer. Within the computer, like maybe there was a different program running at the same time, and I didn't remember it, and it was like maybe like YouTube was like coming on or something in the background behind the screen or something. And I just was working on a song. I wanted to make sure it was okay. I didn't want that part to be in there, so I hit stop, and the sound was still going, but I could hear it with my headphones on, and it wasn't coming through the headphones. I took the headphones off, and I kept listening to it, and it kind of petered out. And it was like your typical, if anybody knows what the Ohio howl is, it's like a signature type of call that people think Bigfoot makes. It's like a long, ramping up sound that almost sounds like a noon whistle or something. But wait, it's organic coming from animals. Like, Well, maybe you don't know. That's what I heard, and I just kind of was like in shock a little bit. I'm like, what the heck was that? And I'm just sitting there.
Let's travel to the barn at Heights Hill, still standing today, where all this took place.
Well, this is where I was during the time it happened. This is where I had my actual recording studio. This is just a makeshift little setup here. I had it right about in this area, maybe over here somewhere. Total normal recording setup. Working on my first country album. It was the first or second or third song I was working on. Just here doing some recording after work, and going through the paces, listening to stuff, getting the tracks laid out, rechecking it, doing some vocals, things like that. And that's when I heard the first quote unquote call. When it first happened, I had no idea what it was or what was making the noise or where it was coming from. I had the music playing here, I had the headphones on, and I start hearing something, it was coming, it was loud enough to hear it beyond the headphones, beyond what was going on the track that I was listening to. And I thought, what the heck is that noise? Is there something that came on in the background, maybe on a different application on my computer, or is there some kind of anomaly happening that I didn't understand? So maybe I got triggered or something. So this noise, whatever it was, whatever I was hearing, was loud enough for me to hear it through the headphones. The first thing I did is I just stopped the track, but then I heard the noise. It kept happening. So I'm like, is it going somewhere else coming through here? So what I did is I took the headphones off, and I could still hear it, but louder now that the headphones were on. And I was like, what the heck? And it just kind of like petered out. And I'm like, okay. And so I sat here for a second, and it finally stopped. And I sat here kind of like wondering, like, what did I just hear? What the heck was that? I didn't really hear it clear enough. All I knew was it was some kind of noise that happened outside of the realm of the computer and the headphones. It was coming from over here somewhere. Gave me a couple seconds to think about it. All of a sudden it started up again. And it was, it started riffing. I heard it from the very beginning the second time. It was like your typical Ohio howl type sound. It ramps up almost like a noon whistle or a siren. It was like a type of noise. And anyway, so it's happening, and I get up This was sitting here right on my desk. This was sitting there. This is my Tascam field recorder. This is actually a slightly newer one, but it's the same thing, same exact thing. DR40X, this one is. This was sitting here. The second one started happening, and I was like, whoa. I went to hit power on this device. There was no power on it whatsoever. So I opened it up, and there was no batteries in it. Looked around frantically to find some batteries. I happened to have a couple different remotes laying around. I had a big screen TV sitting up over there. You know, VCR, TV remotes, stereo remote stuff. I had a couple of remotes here. I grabbed the first one and took the batteries out of it, slapped them into this thing, and it still, the batteries were they came on for a second and then it died. And then the thing ended up tapering off and ending. And so then I'm just in pause mode again. And I'm like, what the heck am I hearing? I wasn't looking for, as soon as it stopped for the second time, I'm not looking for batteries anymore. I'm just like, what the heck? And then it happened a third time. Go back into freak mode. Let's try to find some batteries. Rip through a couple more things. I found another remote, maybe over here, over there. Put them in there. Barely had one bar on here to record with. Didn't know what settings were on the thing. Didn't have the mental, capacity to actually find out what the settings were. I just knew it was recording. I could see the blip going across the screen. It was these microphones. Didn't have the gain turned up very loud. And by the time I did that, I went to finally get it going. I went to record it and it stopped. So I didn't get the howl part on record. I wasn't quick enough to get that done. But I did get the batteries in. Come out here, right on the porch out here. I had this set up pretty sweet, actually. There was a nice little grill here, a grill there, table set up, nice little relaxing spot here, whatever. And I had the recorder going for probably maybe like a full minute or two. And then the next thing that I heard, and I do have it, it did come through on the microphone, although the gain wasn't turned up enough. It came from the same direction, but I tell people it sounded like a gorilla. It didn't sound like an owl hooting. It sounded like a gorilla going, hoo, 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 hoo. And it was coming from a long distance away, and it was so powerful that I heard the bass resonance in my chest cavity. It was like I could feel it. It was such a powerful sound. And so anyway, that was more or less the encounter story, the first thing that happened. Now come in here. I want to show you something that that I thought was very strange. Now this is an old barn. This barn was built over 250 years ago. It's been in the family for over 47 years. My father put these windows in after the fact, years later. These came out of an old building a long time ago. These are slightly, loose panes, single panes of glass here. These windows, the glass is going and vibrating because of the frequency and just how loud it was. And that I thought was extremely weird. As soon as everything calmed down, it didn't seem like there was any more activity again. I instantly started searching the internet for noises of animals indigenous to the upper 48 or the lower 48 states, North America, looking up anything that I could think of: moose, coyotes, bear, big cats, all sorts of different stuff, and trying to find all the different noises that would possibly sound like that. And I searched on the internet for hours and hours. This is before I did any Bigfoot research. I didn't know anything about Bigfoot making howls. I didn't know anything about anything really with Bigfoot. And so I was just looking and looking and looking, and I didn't find anything that sounded anywhere near that. Nothing close, nothing at all remotely close. And then I remember it was like, it had gotten early in the morning. It was like 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the morning, something along those lines. And I decided I'm just going to look up a Bigfoot sound. And so I put that in the search bar on YouTube, and it was the first sound. The first search that I put into YouTube was something like an Ohio howl. It was like, and I just got my whole body just went like tingly, like wicked goosebumps, like unbelievable. And I'm sitting there listening to it. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what the heck is going on? I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. And the rest of the night, I'm just up looking up Bigfoot noises and all sorts of Bigfoot stuff. And my mind is just blown. I'm like, I can't stop thinking about this whole thing and just can't really believe what happened. Can't really believe it. It was like very hard for me to comprehend that this is possibly happening. So then I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a better microphone outside and do some recordings at night after work. It happened to rain the next couple of nights, and I didn't want to record because there's a tin roof out there, and any little bit of rain on the tin roof kind of ruins the recording. You can't hear much else besides the tin roof. I love the sound of that, but it's not good for recording audio. So anyway, I had a different setup that I brought out there. I had my Rode NTG3 shotgun microphone hooked up into a Fields preamp directly into this as a recorder. So it had a really nice clean signal into there, and I boosted it up. So it had a nice gain on it. You could hear anything happening out there. You could hear everything crystal clear, and it was shotgun microphones are very directional. So I had it directed right out there. And I sat out there on the porch for the first night. I sat out there and really nothing happened. And I'm trying to remember this exactly right. I don't know if it was the first or second night that I was out there. I think it was the second night I tried. I'm out there. Everybody here in the family that was here at the house that time, they left. They were all gone to a friend's house, or there was nobody here anyway. Everyone left. It was just me. And I'm sitting out on the porch here. I'll explain it to you better. Come on out. So I had everything set up out here a little before dark. This was in October. This was probably when I started doing this part of recording. The original thing happened on the 13th of October. So this is probably 15th through the 18th, somewhere in there. I'm sitting here with the microphone set up on a little tripod, listening, looking through things on my phone, YouTube, keeping myself occupied. But I have the headphones on the whole time with what's coming through the microphone, so I can hear anything. And, you know, the first night, I didn't really get much. I didn't get anything that I thought was interesting. The second night, like I said, I was here by myself recording. It had gotten dark. It had just gotten dark. Like, okay, that's when I heard it last time. Maybe these things are kind of like crepuscular in nature. Maybe they come out in the, you know, the dusk, the dawn, the dusk, or just after dark, maybe like a fox does, or other animals like that, raccoons and whatnot. They're more nocturnal, but I was thinking maybe something's going to happen pretty soon. I'm just sitting there. Everything's calm, peaceful, and relaxed. And it was a lot like the same night I heard the howl. There was no noise at all. There was nothing. And this is a funny thing that happened. I didn't hear anything, but I smelled something. And all of a sudden, something wafted up. I got a real good whiff of it. And it happened in about 1 second. That's all I smelled, just real quick. And then it was gone. And it was a very strange smell, something I've never smelled before. It was very gross and very weird. And I was like, what the hell is that smell? And I'm just like, And it just happened quickly. And I'm just like, And there was hardly a breeze at all. And then it happened again. And I got a real good, deep nostril full of the smell. And it, for some reason, the smell scared me. And I tell people it's funny that I've never been scared by a smell before, really. But this, whatever it was, I've never smelled it before. It made me very uneasy. I just instantly gathered up all my recording equipment, everything that was on the table, ran inside and locked the door, and just kind of hid out and waited for people to get home so I could maybe tell them a story, or at least have someone around in case something happens. There's no firearms or anything here. Hear that? Those are leaves on the roof up there. Any rain or anything would have prevented me from recording. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's basically what got me started into switching what we have from what we were going to do, Adirondack Paranormal Investigators, into maybe just going towards the topic of Bigfoot exclusively, kind of focusing on that. Because what happened in that couple days here it definitely changed my life. Definitely opened my eyes and changed my life.
It made me like my primal instinct, my whatever it is.
Check, please.
Go like, dude, that's exactly what it was. I grabbed all my stuff was plugged in. I'm sitting there like that. I'm recording. I just instantly grabbed all my stuff right off the table, just like that, which I normally would take way better care of it than that.
Yeah, no, that's it.
And just boom, open up the door, ran inside, locked the door,
fight or flight,
patiently until
and we're lovers, not fighters.
Somebody came because it was scary. It was scary. Totally still night. Again, there was no real any animals or anything. It was just totally dead still, nothing, no sound or anything. And that smell that came over, it reminded me of, like, say a guy, really rank dude, BO, body odor from somebody who just doesn't take care of themselves ever. Like really bad BO mixed with like rotten garbage. Like if there's like, sometimes in the summer garbage can be out for a long time and it goes through stages of smelling like rotten garbage, and then it goes beyond that and it gets to like this different stage
with potatoes,
something.
Oh, that's the worst.
And then that mixed in with like a bunch of baby diapers piled in a pile in the sun too. It smelled like a diaper. It smelled like really bad BO and like really bad garbage, kind of all mixed up into this really strange way that I'd never smelled before anything, and since then I haven't. But it was really powerful. It was powerful, and it was scary.
Well, we could be here all week. You guys have a lot more we could cover. We'll save that for another day. Thanks for sharing your stories with us.
Well, we made it back home, back to Mississippi.
How's New York?
Loved it. Very beautiful country. Very thick woods.
And those boys were just so easy on the eyes, Kerry. They're so handsome.
It was absolutely beautiful scenery. Very thick scenery. So I can see how anything could hide in it.
Well,
it's our 13th show.
I don't think we did bad at all, considering everything that we had to go through and, the whole idea. And obviously we're going to get better at it. But,
Adam and Jake at the BLB.
How about that, huh?
Oh, I love meeting Adam. I love meeting Jake.
So,
well, you couldn't meet better
nicer
people.
Very nice people.
Absolutely. And we definitely appreciate
Adam and Jake for
opening up their home to us and just taking the time, to shoot the show.
Adam
really did me a favor on this one, or did us a favor on this one. But join us on the next Bigfoot Odyssey, and thank you.
There you go. Bet you didn't know about that. Another documentary on his list.
Yeah, that's a whole new one on me. Gonna kill him.
You think they're easy on the eyes there, huh, Linda?
I'm gonna find out which one was doing my voice.
They're in the chat, and I sent them a link. I don't know if they're having trouble coming in or coming on, but it'd be good to have a chat with them. But we have been struggling tonight.
Yeah, it's been terrible with the technical issues.
Yeah,
Boys, I swear.
it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's what time?
Nearly 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow. Sorry.
You're a trooper, Daniela.
I wanted it to be a memorable night, and maybe this is, this will be memorable.
Yeah.
Right, guys. I take it you guys can't come on, but we appreciate what you did there. A lot of effort.
I will be calling y'all tomorrow.
In trouble, I think. But I wanted to end it on a happy note, on a more fun note, because we should still be having fun and carrying on.
Absolutely.
So I've really enjoyed tonight listening to the people and their stories, their tales, and their warnings to people about Bigfoot. And it's been good to see you, Linda.
It was good to see all y'all too. I've just been really busy doing things that I need to do here. So hopefully things will start getting as much normal as it can without Kerry being at home. But I do appreciate everybody that came into chat and everybody that sent in the little notes and the videos. You know, Kerry loved his family, but he loved his show too, and he loved the people. So it's part of the life that I had to share with him. So,
Well, a lot of people turned up tonight, and I appreciate them coming and sharing it with us. And Jackie for being Superwoman tonight, holding the fort, just basically
they did such a good job.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it was funny because you could see her looking back at me, and it's just like, I can't get her in here. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I can't even
all the
see
stories.
anybody down there. I'm like, I don't know who's here. I don't know.
She's like, I don't know anything, but let's talk about this. I was like, okay.
I'll have to give you special buttons next time, then you can. Thing.
Yeah, I hope that everybody had the technical difficulties, but I'm glad who showed up. I'm glad everything turned out good. Just all I can say is just continue to keep us in your prayers. You know, it's one day at a time with my family right now, but you know, we know we are in a lot of people's prayers and we have a lot of people's love, so we will make it through.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thanks everyone. I will see you all soon. It's been a good night, and appreciate everyone being here, especially the Blue Line Bigfoot boys who got technical difficulties. I don't know, but I'm trying my best to contact them and to get them back on. We'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah, there you go, Dylan.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good night. It's probably getting late for everybody else as well. I'm ready to go to bed. I've got to be up like silly time. So until the next time, everyone, take care. Lots of love. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.